You ever really stop and think about how much harder life would be if you didn't have your brothers? And I'm not just talking about your blood brothers, but I'm talking about your circle, your guys. The ones who know the real, unfiltered version of you. The ones who know your flaws, but still chooses to love you through it. See, there's fatherhood, and then there's brotherhood. And to be honest, I believe you can't be your best father without some real solid brothers in your corner to back you up. Welcome back, family, to the F word, where we talk about fatherhood, failure, and flipping the script on what it really means to be a dad in these times. But before we get this ball rolling, you know I get to give a huge shout out to the people over there at Banana Bag. Always fresh. I rock Banana Bag because it represents exactly what this episode is about. Staying true, staying grounded, and keeping your look and your spirit fresh through every season. Banana Bag. Go check them out when you get a chance. Brotherhood. So honestly, when I think about brotherhood, I think about my guys. Molly G, T Love, and Speedy. We've been tight since 13. That's 20 plus years of friendship, loyalty, growth, hella mistakes, and even more memories. These aren't just friends. These are my brothers. They hold me accountable, but they give me grace in the places I need it the most. They help me see the bigger picture in life and in fatherhood. Two of my boys, they was fathers before me, so I had front row access to lessons on what to do, what to expect, what to prepare for. When I became a dad, they were my blueprint. There's been times, I can't lie, I felt like nobody in the world understood me. Not my coworkers, not even family. But my brothers did. They're the ones I can hit up at midnight or any random time of night when life feel heavy and I just need somebody to talk to. They also the ones who will tell me straight up how it is. Bruh, you tripping, or you need to move differently. And it's all love. And while we all have been friends about the same amount of time, each of them have their own lane in my life. Molly Maw, big bro. That's the big bro. That's really blood. We family for real. But even if we wasn't family or related, we'd still be close. He's the steady one. Always been the one to remind me who I am when I feel like I forgot. T Love. He's my mentor. And he had a kid first. So responsibility been in his DNA. I used to watch the way he moved, how he was balanced being a father and still showing up for his people at such a young age. He taught me maturity. That it's not just about age, it's about consistency. My boy Speedy, that's my best friend. Man, we got a lot of history. Did a lot of dirt together. He's one of the ones who might get me in so much trouble, but by the end of it, find a way to get us out of it. That's my guy right there, through and through. Honestly, if we being candid, I need all three of them in different ways. They support me, encourage me. More importantly, they keep me grounded at all times. 20 years of brotherhood. That's more than friendship. That's foundation. You know, like, the older I get, the more I realize brotherhood is survival. We all go through seasons where being a man feels like we have the world on our shoulders. Work, relationships, fatherhood, finances. It all can be a lot for one person. And somewhere along the line, the world started telling me and we're supposed to carry it all alone. That asking for help makes us weak. That all that vulnerability is something to hide. But real shit, brotherhood breaks that lie. When you have real brothers, you're reminded that you don't have to be perfect, just present and honest. They remind you that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall. But you better get your ass back up. Brotherhood, well, my brotherhood gives you a mirror. People who reflect back who you really are, even when those times you don't know who you're looking at in the mirror. And that reflection, it saves you from losing yourself. Your brotherhood is supposed to be you should be able to count on them to pull you back from the deep end, from off of that cliff. All right, this is a fatherhood podcast, so let's connect, fatherhood and brotherhood. They, how they all connect. See, fatherhood, it can be isolating. You're trying to be provider, protector, and guide, and still be emotionally present. That's a lot of balance. That's a lot to balance. Some days you feel like you're winning. Other days you can see your losses. That's when brotherhood steps in. Your brothers become your reminder that you're not alone in this, that you share advice you didn't even know you needed. They call you out when you're slacking, not to judge you or throw stones, but to sharpen you. When you got brothers who are also fathers, you start trading playbooks. You talk about patience, about discipline, about what worked and what didn't. And in those conversations, you know what I realized? In those conversations, that's when healing happens. Because sometimes we think fatherhood is about leading, but brotherhood teaches us how to listen. You learn that every dad struggles, the same fears. Am I doing enough? Am I present enough? And hearing that from other men takes the shame out of it. So talk to your brothers. I know a lot of us like to keep our emotions at bay, locked up, caged up until we explode. But we not there anymore, fellas. Lean on your brothers. Not when it's just time to go out, have some drinks, eat some good food. But when you feeling not yourself and you just need somebody to talk to for a little while. My brothers taught me so much more than basketball, work, or life lessons. They taught me that growth, that's a team sport. From all, I learned loyalty, how to stand 10 toes down for the people you love. From Tim T. Love, I learned responsibility. That fatherhood is a calling, not a chore. And from Speedy, I learned resilience. No matter how deep you get in something, there's always a way out if you stay true to who you actually are. They've been my accountability partners, my crash pads, and sometimes my reality checks. When I start to overthink or even doubt myself, they remind me, bro, look how far we've came. That's what brotherhood does. It keeps your spirit in check when your mind is tired. It's the kind of love that doesn't need words, just presence. So let's talk about what brotherhood really gives a man, especially us fathers. Accountability. Your brothers should tell you the truth, even when it hurts. They keep you from slipping too far down that slope. Support. When life hits you hard, you got people who show up without even you asking a single thing. Of course, wisdom. You get to learn from each other's experiences, the wins and the losses. That's a mastermind. Grace. Real brothers don't cancel you when you mess up. They correct you. They help you rebuild. Balance. They remind you that you're not just a provider or a protector. You're also a man who deserves joy, laughter, and most importantly, peace. If you got a brotherhood, cherish it. And for the fellas who don't, the lone wolves out there, build one. Because no man makes it alone. And no father should have to try. My brotherhood saved me in ways I can't even explain. It made me a better man, a better father, and a better friend. And truth is, life hit hard when you don't have someone in your corner reminding you who you are. So to my brothers, Molly G, T Love, Speedy, I love y'all, man. And thank you. I can't thank you enough for holding me down through every season. For 20 plus years, loyalty, lessons, and laughter. That's real wealth right there. If this episode spoke to you, share it with your circle, your day ones, your teammates, your brothers who you had your back since day one. Follow the F word. Leave a review. Let's keep building this space where men can grow together. Before we go, I have to give a shout out to our sponsors at Beyond Solution, the team that keeps clean with junk removal, carpet cleaning, and commercial cleaning. Remember, a clean space is a safe place. Hit them up if you want your space fresh, focused, and stress-free. Until next time, stay grounded, stay loyal, and check in on your brothers, because real strength isn't how much you carry, it's how well you build your team. And remember, you're doing a good job.